Welcome to This Week in AI-Driven Talent. The latest three Talent News posts show the labor market being reorganized around AI from three different angles. First, firms that cut jobs are now pledging hundreds of millions for retraining. Second, employers are openly ranking parts of the workforce as lower value human capital while a multi-trillion-dollar skills gap grows. Third, AI-linked layoffs are now more than half of this year's total, even as workplace agents multiply. In this roundup, I will walk through the newest three posts, keep the key numbers on screen, and connect the source reporting behind each claim. The first post shows how companies are trying to manage the backlash from AI-driven restructuring. TalentNews highlights a $500 million retraining fund backed by some of the same firms that have been cutting jobs, framing reskilling as a strategic response to displacement. At the same time, Challenges says June layoffs cooled 53% from May, but AI still led the reasons companies gave for cutting staff. Add Gallup's finding that 52% of talent leaders are now onboarding AI agents, and the signal is clear. Employers are not waiting for a stable end state. They are automating, retraining, and redesigning workforce plans in parallel. For talent leaders, the key issue is no longer whether AI will change the organization. It is whether retraining budgets are large and fast enough to offset the jobs being removed. The second post is about how language around talent is hardening as the skills race accelerates. Talent News spotlights a bank reclassifying 7,800 workers as lower value human capital, which is a blunt reminder that some employers are already segmenting labor by perceived AI leverage. Around that, the numbers widen the story. Workera cites a $5.5 trillion skills gap tied to workforce readiness, while another cited survey says 96% of recruiters are now using AI in some form, even though many HR teams still have no meaningful deployment. Put together, this is not just a technology adoption story, it is an operating model story. Companies are using AI aggressively in the hiring funnel, but many internal people systems remain uneven, undertrained, or unprepared. That gap is where future productivity gains and future employee frustration are likely to concentrate. Quick pause before the final story. If these weekly breakdowns help you track what AI is doing to hiring, layoffs, and workforce strategy, please like this video, subscribe, and comment on what you want me to cover next. Your feedback helps me decide which labor market signals and company moves to analyze in the next roundup. The third post is the clearest warning signal in the set. Talent News says AI now drives 56% of 2026's layoffs, which means automation is no longer a side explanation in workforce reductions. It is becoming the main one. The post connects that to CNBC, reporting that long-term unemployment has climbed to a 4-year high, while Microsoft's latest workplace research suggests organizational use of AI agents has jumped 15 times. The combined picture is uncomfortable but important. Enterprises are getting faster at deploying AI systems than workers are at finding equivalent new roles. That mismatch helps explain why layoffs can coexist with headlines about productivity gains and hiring innovation. For executives, the question is whether agent deployment is creating enough new high-value work or mostly shrinking the human side of the org chart faster than reskilling can catch up. Taken together, the latest Talent News posts describe a labor market being repriced around AI capability. Companies are cutting jobs and then funding retraining. They are classifying parts of the workforce by strategic value, and they are deploying workplace agents fast enough that layoffs are increasingly explained by automation rather than by cyclical slowdown alone. The takeaway for talent leaders is that the next phase is not just experimentation. It is institutional redesign. The winners will be the organizations that connect hiring, upskilling, internal mobility, and AI deployment into one operating model instead of treating them as separate projects. That is the real story behind this week's three posts.